Hello and welcome to the news on NTA International. I am Dennis Adegunloye. The headlines. Federal government seeks public understanding and support for President Bola Tinubu's policies by avoiding politicizing critical government decisions aimed at providing strong base for nation's economy. World Bank accrestals landscape interventions, erosion projects in Akwa Ibom State gets commendation. And Moldovans vote in intense presidential election runoff that could play key role in country's European future. Turkey is expanding its reach into Africa, banking on its defense projects and widespread trade network. The country's prospects are enhanced by the lack of colonial history, unlike the case of Europe. Kulu Mohammed tells us more.
Speaking ahead of a ministerial meeting at the weekend in Djibouti, a diplomatic source in Ankara said Turkey was a sought-after partner in Africa thanks to its non-colonial past. Top diplomat Hakan Fidan will be in the tiny Horn of Africa nation on November 2nd and 3rd for the meeting between Turkey and 14 African nations in a body that was set up in 2008. Turkey's biggest advantage is its non-colonial past. When anti-imperialist leaders are looking for new partners, they think first and foremost of us, the source said. Although the Ottoman Empire ruled over many territories in Africa, it lost control of them in the 19th and early 20th centuries before the Turkish Republic emerged from the ashes of its collapse in 1923. In a sign of its growing influence, Ankara has since June taken on the role of mediator in talks between Ethiopia and Somalia, who have been locked in a feud over access to the ocean. And with a significant level of regional mistrust towards both major powers and the Gulf states, Turkey was best suited to lead such negotiations, as no other actor had the confidence of both parties, the source said. Despite difficulties, talks between Ethiopia and Somalia were moving forward at their own pace. Such confidence was born of a well-established Turkish foothold in Somalia for the past 2 decades, where it has invested in agriculture and built the airport in Mogadishu, a military training center, schools, and a hospital. Last week, Turkish exploration vessel, the Oruk Reis, arrived in the Somali capital to start searching for oil and natural gas under an agreement which allows it to drill in 3 areas, each measuring roughly 5,000 square kilometers. Similar exploration agreements for oil and gas, as well as mining, were also signed between Turkey and Nigeria in July and October. Turkish mining company NTA has 3 gold mines in this Sahel nation, which is also rich in uranium. There's also the potential for oil and natural gas, said Turkish Energy Minister Alparslan Bayraktar this summer. The mines are protected by Niger military, and Turkey is widely regarded as a security partner by many countries in the region. Over the years, Ankara has signed military cooperation agreements with more than 25 African countries, supplying them with Turkish-made weapons, including drones, helicopters, training aircraft, and armored vehicles. And its hostile stance towards West-imposed sanctions on the military regimes of Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali has also helped its ties with these nations. Turkey is also 4th largest arms supplier to sub-Saharan Africa, according to a study published by the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute in March. Trade between Turkey and African countries in 2022 is set to exceed $40 billion. And Turkish Airlines operates flights to some 50 destinations across the continent of Africa. Kulu Mohammed, NTA News.
Moldovans have been heading to the polls this Sunday in an intense presidential election runoff that could play a key role in the country's European future, amid fears of Russian interference. Kulu Mohammed again reports that the nation seems divided for or against the EU and Russia.
Pro-EU incumbent Maya Sandu scored for 2.5% of the vote in the first round of the presidential election 2 weeks ago. Alexander Stoyanoglu, supported by the pro-Russian socialist and who was fired as prosecutor general by Sandu last year, received 26%. But Stoyanoglu has since gained the support of other defeated candidates, and analysts are predicting a close battle similar to Georgia's vote last weekend when the ruling party narrowly won a contested parliamentary election. In both ex-Soviet republics, Russia has been accused of seeking to sway voters. In each case, it has rejected the claims. Sandu, a 52-year-old fervent pro-Western former World Bank economist, blamed foreign interference for the narrow EU vote when 50.35% backed membership. Police said they have uncovered a Russian vote-buying scheme that could have affected up to a quarter of the ballots. For the presidential second round, polling stations opened 7 a.m. and will close at 9 p.m., with the first partial results expected an hour later. Ahead of the vote, Sandu's camp intensified campaigning on social media and in door-to-door visits in villages to try to counter any vote buying. Let's remain mobilized so that the honest votes determine the outcome of these elections and not the bought ones, Sandu said in a video message on Friday. In messages sent to mobiles and even broadcast on supermarket loudspeakers, police have been telling people offered money for their votes to refuse. Police have reported a massive phenomenon of people receiving calls, emails, even death threats to influence ballots. Prime Minister Dorin Russian has called it an extreme attack to create panic and fear so that people will be afraid to go out and vote. Sandu applied for Moldova, which has a population of 2.6 million, to join the EU after Russia invaded Ukraine in 2022. Accession negotiations formally opened in June. Moldova is already deeply polarized. A large diaspora and the capital mostly favor joining the EU, while rural areas and the pro-Russian separatist regions of Transnistria and Gagauzia are against it. Kolo Mohammed, NTA News.
Kogi State has been rated among the states in the northwest with a number of CRESL sustainable landscape interventions following prompt payments of its counterparts' funds. Charles Alpha reports that the World Bank and the federal government's Special Implementation Support Team was at the Akwa Gully Erosion Stabilization Site for an on-the-spot assessment.
Erosion for years has been one of the major causes of displacement of people living along the corridor in Ankpa local government area of Kogi State. But after the Akwa State Project Management Unit received additional 600 million naira to the 400 million naira already on ground as counterpart funding, it was no surprise the extent work has gone when the Special Implementation Support Team of the federal government and the World Bank embarked on a site inspection of the Akwa Gully Erosion Channelization and Rehabilitation Project, which revealed remarkable progress.
In Akwa, we say that we are impressed so far with the work on the ground. Our only comment will be to speed up the implementation.
The quality of work done here is world class. We're happy to report that the contractor is living up to the specifications that we saw designed, approved from the Federal Project Management Unit.
So far, the project has recorded successful execution of the Safe Life for Enabo and 300 water harvesting projects for dry season farming in Ankpa communities. The gully erosion isn't the only Akwa project ongoing in the area. After Governor Ododo flagged off the first phase of the Community Revolving Fund, about $250,000 was disbursed to 20 CIGS in 10 communities, with a total of 208 beneficiaries. The project has also supported farmers at the watershed with 30 hand-holding tractors and irrigation pumps at Etahi, Omigbo, and Ankpa to increase agricultural production and income generation. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
Uhuafo Nome community in the Nkanu East local government area of Enugu State now has 24-hour power supply with the inauguration of a 100 kWp solar hybrid mini-grid federal government project. This is in line with the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu centered on inclusive development. Comfort Aim was at the inauguration ceremony performed by Governor Peter Mbah alongside her team from the Rural Electrification Agency.
The state is one of the fastest growing states in Nigeria, with an increase in the growth of businesses. As the state advances its electrification pathway in line with the 2023 Electricity Act, the Rural Electrification Agency, REA, has recorded its impact in the state. And for the people, this sustainable energy project is not just about electricity, but also empowerment and progress for a community noted for farming, which has been hindered by lack of reliable power supply and poor road network.
We have seen the light. The one they give us is free. But now they have brought prepared meter, which means the amount we paid. When your money finish, your light will go off.
Okay, a remote village in Nkano East that has not had light for the last 9 years. This new power supply has brought a lot of relief and happiness to millions of thousands and millions of our people. We are so grateful to the government.
Representative of the Managing Director, REA, says the REF has aided the deployment of over 50 solar mini-grid nationwide with the aim of promoting safe and sustainable energy solutions to mitigate the effects of climate change.
The commissioning today comes at a time when there is a strong call for action on promoting safe and sustainable energy solutions to mitigate the effort of climate change and reduce greenhouse emissions.
Performing the inauguration, Governor Peter Mbah represented stated that the project provides the state the capacity to create SMEs and enhance the living standard of the people.
Our heartfelt gratitude to the Rural Electrification Agency for their unwavering commitment to bridging the energy gap in Nigeria, particularly on served and underserved communities.
The power projects under the Rural Electrification Fund 2 comprises 256 solar panels, 2 inverters, 26 battery bank and internet device to ensure optimal performance. In Enugu, Comfort Aim, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Minister of Works David Umahi and some members of the National Assembly were on a 2-day tour of the ongoing Lagos-Calabar coastal road construction beneath the 11.8-kilometre section of the third mainland bridge. Lanre Gbeleyi reports that the delegation expressed satisfaction with the level of work done so far.
The tour of the project started with the Minister of Works taking the National Assembly members round the first segment of the 700 kilometers Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway. The road, the National Assembly Committee on Works described as a step in the right direction for the socio-economic development of the nation.
Traveling this way down to Ekpe, down to across so many states, up to Calabar, is a game changer.
The lawmakers also monitored the commencement of major repairs and restoration work underneath the third mainland bridge. While speaking on the urgent need to ensure completion of the damaged portion underneath the third mainland bridge, the Minister of Works, David Umahi, revealed that human and marine impact over the years had caused corrosion of pier casings, thinning of bridge bearings, and many more necessitated the repair works.
Chlorination is the ability of the pipe cap to absorb the, chloride water, and that is what is attacking the rod inside. And if that is not, arrested, what you see is that suddenly this pipe cap, very strong structure, will become like biscuits. We need to thank Mr. President. It's President that came to correct the ills of this country. These bridges are critical infrastructure, and we must see it as such as Nigerians.
Other projects inspected during the tour were the Eco Bridge, Kata Bridge, and Marina. The minister also met with the contractors handling the projects, where he requested that a 1-hour documentary on all the repair works be done in 7 days and will be presented to the President and the National Assembly for allocation of funds to enable smooth completion of the ongoing major repairs. In Lagos, Lanre Bilayi, NTA News.
To Kaduna State now, where the federal government has been seeking public understanding and support for President Bola Tinubu's policies by avoiding politicizing critical government decisions aimed at providing strong bases for the nation's economy. Minister of Information and National Orientation Mohammed Idris made the plea when he visited the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, Kaduna National Station. Clement Oloruntaba has details.
The minister, who was received at the premises of NTA FRCN by the management of both organizations, featured on FRCN Current Affairs program, Hanun Yawa, and later NTA Kaduna Current Affairs program, to spell out President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's policies thrust to Hausa-speaking communities in the country. The minister noted that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu meant well for Nigerians with the introduction of some policies which are vital for development.
The CNG initiative, for example, after the removal of the fuel subsidy, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came up with this CNG initiative. In fact, had a presidential CNG initiative. This is all aimed at helping Nigerians to cut the cost of money they spend on fossil fuels. It will also help Nigerians to also join the rest of the world in its energy transition from fossil fuel to renewable energy.
On the economic policies of government, the minister highlighted some positive results, which he said are obvious for citizens to see.
Inflation is certainly going to come down. Our foreign reserve is on the increase. Our ability to save money on account of the policy of government in deregulating the oil sector, more revenues are going to accrue to government. Then these revenues are going to go into other very critical sectors of roads, the healthcare system. About 10 healthcare facilities across this country have been fully rehabilitated.
The minister advised Nigerians not to be discouraged on what government will bring to the people for onward developments. In Kaduna, Clement Oloruntaba, NTA News.
Let's take a short break. More reports in a moment. Stay with us.
The government of Nigeria wants vandals of national assets, electricity transmission towers, cables and other facilities to desist from this act of sabotage. Vandalism is a serious crime punishable under the law. Vandalizing electrical equipment will affect millions of Nigerians, including your loved ones. Remember that national assets belong to all of us, hence the need to protect them. Report all cases of suspicious movement around electrical facilities to security agencies. When you see something, say something. This message is from the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation in collaboration with the National Counter-Terrorism Center, NCTC, Office of the National Security Advisor.
Welcome back. Now, the Society of Nigerian Broadcasters, SNB, has emphasized the urgent need for a national information policy as a foundation to guide ethical and responsible broadcasting in Nigeria. SNB Vice President North Central Zone Ismail Sani, at its National Executive Committee meeting in Lafia, Nasarawa State, expressed readiness to collaborate with government bodies, regulatory authorities and the private sector partners to advocate for these priorities aimed at creating a broadcasting environment that serves the public interest, supports the nation's developmental goals and upholds the integrity of Nigerian media on both local and international platforms. The SNB reiterated its commitment to the welfare and continuous professional training programs to equip broadcasters with skills in emerging technologies, ethical journalism, and the industry's best practices. The bid by members of an international drug syndicate that operates between Brazil, Ethiopia, and Nigeria to smuggle into Lagos a total of 845 wraps of cocaine has been thwarted by operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Ikeja. Salwa Khalil Ibrahim has details of this and other NDLEA activities during the week.
The drug consignment worth 4,492,000,000 naira were recovered from 2 toilets of an aircraft from Addis Ababa to Lagos on Tuesday, 29th October 2024. No fewer than 30 suspects have so far been grilled in connection with the seizure. In the same vein, attempt by some drug trafficking syndicates to export large amount of cocaine, cannabis and tramadol concealed in body cream containers and pieces of artwork to Australia, United Arab Emirates and United Kingdom through some courier companies in Lagos were also blocked by NDLEA on Monday, 28th October 2024. In the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, a suspect was arrested with 147,000 pills of tramadol concealed in black nylon bags containing plumbing materials along Kwali-Gwagwalada Abuja Expressway on his way from Onitsha, Anambra State on Saturday, 2nd November 2024. A notorious drug dealer who has been on the watch list of Katsina State Command of NDLEA was on Wednesday, 30th October, arrested with consignment of Arizona, a strain of cannabis. Other suspects were arrested with different types and quantity of illicit substances in Adamawa, Kaduna, Edo, and Ondo states. In Abuja, Salwa Khalil Ibrahim, NTA News.
Some political party matters now. A conference by the All Progressives Congress has been held in Bauchi to analyze the current status of the party in relation to what is described as extraordinary developmental policies put in place by the Tinubu administration. Ensuring proper awareness of the leading political parties' targets is the theme of the conference under the Foreign Affairs Minister Yusuf Tugar and that of Health Professor Mohammed Ali Pati. Muazu Hassan reports.
Critical Stakeholders Conference has brought together all APC members, including serving and former ministers, former governors and legislators, alongside other political office holders in both federal and state levels.
The parties have agreed to maintain peace, unity in the party, in all structure in the party in Bauchi State. We shall discipline any erring member who committed offense outside the constitution of the party.
APC stakeholders have unanimously reinstated their loyalty and support to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his New Hope agenda, with assurance to maintain their existing unity.
The party also stands that Mr. President, the party in Bauchi State are in support of Mr. President and our 2 ministers in achieving his renewed hope agenda.
We all attended this meeting and we discussed the unity, peace and justice of the party. And I am impressed with the turnout. Clear indication that the party is ready and willing to take over Bauchi.
Other speakers of the APC conference, while encouraging members on the need for discipline, also assured their commitment to ensuring a long-term plan for the APC to remain a leading political party in the country. In Bauchi, Muaz Hassan, NTA News.
A Chief Magistrates Court in Wuse Zone 2, Abuja, has sentenced Professor Josiah Jos to 6 months in prison for impersonation during the 2019 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination. Statements by JAM's Head of Public Affairs, Fabian Benjamin, says Professor Jos was apprehended by officials of JAM while monitoring the 2019 UTME at BRICS Academy, Abuja. Jos had presented himself to JAM examination officials as a representative of a non-governmental organization, claiming he was there to oversee the examination. However, his deception was uncovered when he was questioned by the leader of the monitoring team in the examination hall, who asked him to clarify his purpose. Unable to substantiate his claims, Jos was arrested and handed over to security personnel for further investigations. During interrogation, he confessed that he was not affiliated to any NGO and was actually in the examination hall to assist his daughter in taking the 2019 UTME. Chief Magistrate Justice Folashade Oyekan found Jos guilty of a one-count charge of impersonation and sentenced him to 6 months in prison with an option of a 100,000 naira fine. The Center for Journalism, Innovation and Development is leveraging its Dawa Project to train youths in digital content development and management. The campaign, tagged #WeekForTruth, is being supported by the National Endowment for Democracy and the Dutch Embassy in Nigeria. Tokbe Alabi reports.
The 2024 theme of this year's Global Media and Information Literacy Week is highlighting the transformative impact of generative artificial intelligence, digital content creators, and the public court. The initiative is to encourage youth of school age brackets to always verify statuses of news materials, online content, and startups before dissemination to avoid misinformation and fake news.
So whenever you hear a rumor, you need to double check it with other sources, official sources, and then I felt fact-checking is so important wherever you are, not only in this country but also in the Netherlands. If I cannot confirm something from 3 independent sources, then it is not worth to be published.
Dubawa in Hausa means to check the information, whether they are true and whether they are valid before making use of them.
With this, knowledge and with this education, they will be looking at not everything I hear, not everything I read are actually true. I need to search, I need to verify and ask questions.
I've learned that you shouldn't be selfish and share the correct information with others.
That it is always good to double check your information, and that we have to make sure that the information we hear is always true, and we shouldn't always spread false rumors.
I intend to actually carry this I've learned and also make use of it everywhere I go, because not everything I hear is actually true. So I have to make sure that what I'm gaining is valid.
The conversation is strictly about fact-checking and for everyone, including students, to be on the same page in the fight against misinformation for the common good of all.
Because we believe that if we catch them young to be fact checkers, they will be able to scale down to the people that are not opportune to be in this.
Since AI is a new thing, we decided that, okay, how do we use AI to solve the problem of information disorder? So I create the Dawa chatbot where fact checkers, journalists, young people like the ones we just trained can use that tool to verify any kind of information.
They're always online. So if we're able to teach these people on how to fact-check information, it reduces. They tell their parents, if their parents say, oh, I heard so and so, they're able to say, Mommy, let me fact-check it.
Since its inception in 2019, over 300 volunteers have participated in the campaign, with Dawa's presence in Nigeria, Ghana, Sierra Leone, Liberia, Senegal, and the Gambia. In Abuja, Tokbe Alabi, NTA News.
Troops of Operation Fansayanma in the northwest have arrested a notorious terrorist leader, Abubakar Bawa Ibrahim, also known as Habu Dogo, in Runji village, Lilla, local government area of Sokoto State. Statements by the Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, revealed that Habu Dogo is a wanted terrorist on the watch list of security agencies both in Nigeria and Niger Republic, due to the transborder nature of his terrorist activities. Similarly, troops in the southeast arrested 7 IPOB ESN terrorist commanders and operatives. During the period under review, troops killed 187 terrorists, arrested 262, rescued 147 kidnapped victims, and recovered arms. Let's now get a check on Monday's weather forecast for Nigeria and other parts of the world. Well, that concludes the news on NTA International. Many thanks for being a part of it. I am Dennis Adegunloye.